Today we're going to put a brand new reproduction bumper on the 55, and we've also got bumper guards, and they're kind of hard to find and hard to get for these cars. I don't see them in reproduction, so they're a little bit unique to put on, and they don't just bolt on. You actually have to drill the actual bumper to put them on. So I wanted to do a quick video on that. It can be a little intimidating to drill a hole in a brand new bumper, but the look of the accessory bumper guards far outweighs any concern for that, and I'm just going to do a quick video and show you guys how to do that. So let me walk you over and show you the pieces that we have. So here we have all the new pieces. It's got the full bumper kit with the bumper guards and the bumperettes. It's also got the hardware that goes along with it and the brackets to go from the frame to the bumpers. So we're starting with all new hardware. First step of the process is to get the bumper put together, get the bumper in one piece, get the brackets onto the bumper, and get it on the car. Putting tape on the paint so the bumper doesn't scratch it. It's a lot easier to remove tape or bind tape than to repaint. So in this section here, we're just making sure that the tape is covering everything so we don't scratch the car when we put it together. I'm also putting rags on the stainless steel exhaust to make sure we don't scratch the exhaust or the bumper itself. At this point, I'm trying to make sure everything fits. I want to trial fit everything onto the car and make sure I'm happy with the fit. Once it was on the car, I discovered that it was sitting off to the side, probably about a half an inch. One side was a half inch tighter than the other, and it just was not sitting centered on the car. Alright, so I want to show a couple things that I've done. The bumper went on, and it didn't fit very well. It was off too much to this side, and it was actually sticking out from this side here. It fit very well on the driver's side. So what I did is I bent these brackets a little bit inwards, and to get it to move and give me some adjustment, I've notched the bumper brackets here. This is really not a video for putting a bumper on a car, but I just want it to fit properly, and it wasn't fitting properly. I did measure it, and the body is sitting where it should be on the frame. So for whatever reason, it could be the aftermarket bumper, so I did notch this. And then what I did over here on this side, this bumper bracket, I can put shims in between the frame and this one to move it over, which is what we're doing. And since I'm moving it over, I had to notch this out a little bit. That's where you saw me grinding, so this bracket would actually fit up in there. So that's what we're doing now, and I'm going to try to put it back together. Alright, so now I've got the bumperettes mocked up on the car, and I'm happy with the fit, specifically the gap that goes up around in here. So since I've got the fit on there and I'm happy with the way it fits on the car, I'm going to put some tape across here on the bottom and across here on top. We're going to take a felt marker, and we're going to mark right here. That way I can take this part off and put it on my bench, and then prepare to drill my hole. So I've already done that with the other side. I'm going to show you where we're at on the bench. Alright, so this is the passenger side of the car. This is the corner. It's all taken apart, sitting on the bench. I've got it where it comes in, where it's going to sit on here, and then I've got my mark right here. This mark is going to help me line up the other side here. When they go together, you'll see the black mark there on the bottom. I don't know if you can see it with the light. You've got a black mark there on the bottom and a black mark there. When the two pieces go together, I'll look for my marks, I'll line up my marks, and that way I can go ahead and mark where the hole is going to go on the inside and drill it. That's pretty much where it's going to sit and how it's going to sit. I just got to take this off and drill the hole for the bolt to go through. I've got my mark. I can see where I want to line up my hole. I've got tape on here for protection so we don't scratch up the bumper. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little more tape on it. to make sure we don't scratch it up anymore. And also I need tape up here so I can mark my hole. When attaching the bumperette, make sure you bolt it in from the side and snug it up so it is held in place by the bumper bolt. Alright, because of the way this is in the positioning, I'm not able to get a pen or a marker down behind here because it hits the chrome thing. So I just cut off a small section of a pencil so I can get in there and mark my hole where I want it. So I've got my mark lined up. And now that's going to be the place where I'm going to drill my hole. It's kind of hard to see it. That's where the hole is going to go. Alright, so we know our hole is going to be here. We're going to use a center punch. And the reason we're using a center punch, we're going to make a small divot in the chrome. And what that is for is so when we try to drill this, that the drill bit doesn't walk all over and scratch the chrome. The drill will stay in one spot and drill the hole. Here my battery operated drill is dying and the battery was dying on me, so I switched to an electric drill. And also I use WD-40 to help the drill through without overheating the metal. It just helps lubricate the bit. So drilling this out, I drilled it out and I cleaned it with lacquer thinner because we're going to paint this so it doesn't rust. If we bolt this on the car right now without painting it, we would get rust that would snake out and probably snake down and get underneath the chrome, and we don't want that. It's also got a sharp edge here from drilling it, so I'm just taking a round file. I'm going to file inwards to smoothen that out so when we paint it, it won't have that rough edge. I'm using engine enamel. It's cast coat iron. It dries quick. I just sprayed into an old top here and I got a Q-tip that I'm going to use to paint this around. I want to paint the bare metal and protect the chrome so we don't get corrosion in between. So all I'm doing is dipping the Q-tip in there and then I just walk it around. We've sanded it so we won't have any sharp edges or burrs to catch the Q-tip. And I'll do a couple different coats on this and let it dry. And I don't really care if I get a little bit above and past the chrome because I actually want to do that to protect it. So I'm going to let that dry for a minute and then we'll give it another coat. So now we got our bumper back, we let our paint dry, and we're going to put this all back together. So since this is going to go back together for the last time, all this tape here was to protect the body. So I'm going to take that off now because we don't need that anymore. We know this fits. And I use painter's tape because this has been on here for a while. It comes off a little easier, but you can still see there's residue on here. That'll come off with a little bit of lacquer thinner. Since this is actually going together for the final assembly, I'm going to give everything a coat of wax, and specifically the areas that we won't be able to reach once it's put together. It'll help protect it. Alright, so now you can see we got our two pieces bolted together by drilling that hole through the brand new bumper that we got, mounting the two pieces together. So now we got a nice solid bumperette on the car. Now it's time to just give them one last cleaning before they go on to the car.
And once they're installed, you can see it adds such a unique look to these cars. Very elegant and adds a lot more flash and chrome. If you like these videos and you find use in their content, please like and subscribe, and